They thought I'd always stay silent because I was too practical to fight back, but their loser label became the very weapon I used to expose everything. They believed they were living parasitically off my back. Watch me turn this house into their worst nightmare of revenge. The squatters in my $600,000 home never saw it coming the moment when the doormat they'd been walking on would pull the entire floor out from under them. My name is Elena Walsh, and I've spent the last decade of my life doing everything right. Every morning at 5:30 a.m., I'd drag myself out of bed, brew the cheapest coffee I could find, and catch the 6:15 train to downtown where I worked as a financial analyst. While my friends were out living their best lives, posting Instagram stories from Cabo and Vegas, I was brown bagging lunch and tracking every penny in spreadsheets. 10 years of sacrifice, 10 years of being called boring and too uptight at family gatherings, all for one dream: owning my own home. The day I signed the papers for the $600,000 colonial in Westchester, I actually cried in the realtor's office. Not delicate, pretty tears, ugly, shoulder-shaking sobs of relief. This wasn't just a house. It was proof that being practical paid off. That all those nights eating ramen while my coworkers ordered sushi were worth it. That's when Trevor called, my younger brother, the family's golden child, who could charm his way out of anything. "Lena, baby sis." His voice dripped with that fake sweetness he used when he needed something. "Lexi and I are in a bit of a situation. Her roommate kicked us out totally unfair, by the way, and we just need a place to crash while I line up this amazing job opportunity." I should have said no. God, I should have said no. But Mom's voice echoed in my head. "Family helps family. Elena, don't be selfish with your success." "Just for a few weeks," I said, already regretting it. "And you'll help with utilities." "Of course you're the best, Lena. We'll be model house guests. I promise." Trevor showed up 2 days later with Lexi, his girlfriend of 6 months, and enough belongings to fill a U-Haul. "Just the essentials," he laughed, dragging in a 65-inch TV, gaming systems, and what looked like Lexi's entire wardrobe. The first week was tolerable. They kept to the guest room, occasionally emerged to make small talk. Lexi complimented my cute little house with that condescending smile that made my teeth clench. But by week 3, my living room had transformed into their personal lounge. Empty beer bottles decorated my coffee table like some frat house tribute. Pizza boxes piled up beside my carefully chosen furniture. The smell of weed permanently hung in the air despite my explicit no-smoking rule. My utility bills skyrocketed. The electricity bill alone tripled apparently. Cryptocurrency mining requires a lot of power. Something Trevor forgot to mention when he set up his temporary operation in my basement. The water bill doubled from Lexi's 2-hour showers and daily loads of laundry for her fashion blog. "Trevor, we need to talk about the bills." I cornered him one evening, spreadsheet in hand. He barely glanced up from his game. "Chill, Lena. Once my crypto takes off, I'll pay you back triple. You're so uptight about money. That's why you have no life." "I have no life because I'm paying for yours," I shot back. He laughed, actually laughed. "Come on. It's not like you can't afford it. Miss Financial Analyst with her big fancy house. Stop being such a control freak." Every morning, I'd wake up to find new damage. Scratches on my hardwood floors from their late-night parties. Stains on my Persian rug that I'd saved 6 months to buy. My kitchen, once pristine, looked like a tornado hit it nightly. They'd cook elaborate meals, leave every dish dirty, every surface greasy. "We're artists," Lexi explained when I asked them to clean up. "We can't interrupt our creative flow for mundane tasks. You understand, right? Someone like you who's so structured. Someone like me." The words stung more than they should have. Someone boring. Someone who worked instead of lived. Someone who bought groceries instead of ordering DoorDash twice a day on my credit card. They'd somehow started using. I started eating dinner at the office, staying late not for overtime, but to avoid my own home. The house I'd dreamed of for 10 years had become a prison. Every night, I'd sit in my car in the driveway, watching the lights blazing in every room, hearing the music thumping through the walls, and wonder how I'd let this happen. "Just a few more weeks," Trevor would say whenever I brought up their move-out timeline. "You wouldn't throw your own brother out on the street, would you? What would Mom think?" What would Mom think? She'd think I was a pushover, a doormat, a loser who worked her ass off just to fund her brother's extended vacation. But I couldn't bring myself to say it. Not yet. Little did they know. Every insult, every dismissed boundary, every dollar they stole, I was keeping track. They thought kindness was weakness. They were about to learn exactly how wrong they were. It was a Thursday night when everything changed. I'd come home early with a migraine, hoping to slip into my bedroom unnoticed and sleep it off. But as I stood in the hallway, Trevor's voice carried clearly from the living room. "I'm telling you, Lex, this setup is perfect. Elena's such a fucking loser. She'll never kick us out. Look at her 32. No boyfriend, no life, just spreadsheets and savings accounts. Pathetic." Lexi's laugh tinkled like broken glass. "She actually thanked me yesterday for keeping the house lively. Can you believe it? Like we're doing her a favor by existing in her space." "The best part," Trevor continued, and I could hear the smirk in his voice. "She thinks buying this house makes her successful. Nah, success is knowing how to enjoy life without being a wage slave. I'm the smart one here living rent-free in a $600K house while she grinds away at her little desk job." My hands shook as I pressed myself against the wall. Phone already recording. "Show them the bedroom again," Trevor said. "Your followers love the last tour. Welcome to my gorgeous home." Lexi adopted her fake influencer voice. "Today I'm showing you our master suite in this stunning colonial. Yes, girls, this is how you live when you know your worth." Master suite. My master suite. The one I'd painted myself. Chosen every piece of furniture for. Dreamed about for years. "Make sure you get the walk-in closet. Elena's got good taste for a loser, I'll give her that. Tell them it's 600 square feet. It's not that big, babe." They don't know that. And mention how we're thinking of renovating. Maybe they'll sponsor us. I bit my lip so hard, I tasted blood. Renovating my house. Speaking of which, Lexi's voice dropped lower. "Did you transfer that money from her card? Yet I need to order those ring lights for better content." "Did it this morning. She won't notice, too busy being a good little worker bee. I swear, she gets off on being responsible. It's sad, really." "Your sister's kind of tragic," Lexi agreed. "All that money and no idea how to spend it. At least we're putting it to good use. My engagement is up 40% since we started filming here." "That's my girl. See, this is why we're meant for bigger things. Not like Elena, wasting her life in some corporate cage. She'll be doing the same shit at 60. Probably in the same house. Definitely still alone." God, that's depressing. Promise me we'll never end up like her. "Baby, we're too smart for that. Let the losers like Elena buy the houses. We'll just live in them." They both laughed, and I heard the clink of glasses, my crystal champagne flutes, the ones my grandmother left me. "Should we invite more people this weekend?" Lexi asked. "That party last week was fire, but I think we could go bigger." "Definitely. Elena's working Saturday anyway, she always does. Probably because she has nothing better to do. We'll have the whole place to ourselves." "Perfect. I'll post stories from our pool. The lighting is incredible out there at sunset." My pool. The one I'd spent an extra $50,000 on because I'd always dreamed of morning swims. "You know what the funniest part is?" Trevor's voice turned contemplative. "She probably thinks she's better than us because she owns this place. But who's really winning, the person slaving away to pay for it, or the ones actually enjoying it?" "You're so philosophical, babe. That's totally going in my caption tomorrow." "Just don't tag the location. Don't want Elena getting suspicious if her coworkers see it. Please, like anyone she knows follows me. Can you imagine her social circle? Probably a bunch of other corporate drones comparing 401k contributions." I slid down the wall, sitting on the floor of my own hallway like an intruder. Every word felt like another knife sliding between my ribs. But it wasn't just the cruelty that gutted me. It was the casual certainty of it all. They weren't even angry at me. I wasn't worth anger. I was just a resource to be exploited. A walking ATM with no feelings worth considering. "Oh shit," Trevor said suddenly. "Did you hear that?" My heart stopped. "Probably just the house settling. These old places make noise. Elena says it's got character." Lexi mimicked my voice with startling accuracy. "Character?" Trevor snorted. "Code for, I couldn't afford new construction. Whatever. Let's go upstairs. I want to show you something on the balcony. My balcony, where I'd planned to drink coffee and watch sunrises. I waited until their footsteps faded before crawling to my bedroom, still recording everything. Inside my walk-in closet, the one Lexi was claiming as hers to thousands of strangers, I noticed several of my designer pieces were missing. The Burberry coat I'd saved for 2 years to buy, the Louboutins I'd worn once to a company gala. My phone buzzed, a notification from my credit card app, another $500 charge at Sephora. I opened Lexi's Instagram. There it was, my bedroom, my house, my life, all branded as hers, thousands of likes, comments about goals and living your best life, and queen energy. But it was Trevor's comment that broke something inside me. That's my baby, living like she deserves. Like she deserves, in my house, with my money, while calling me a loser. I sat there in my closet, surrounded by what was left of my belongings, and made a decision. They wanted to play house fine, but they'd forgotten one crucial detail in their perfect scam. This loser's name was the only one on the deed. The next morning, I sat across from Mara at our favorite coffee shop. My hands wrapped around a cup I wasn't drinking. I'd known Mara since law school. I'd dropped out to pursue finance. She'd graduated summa cum laude and now specialized in real estate law. "You look like hell," she said bluntly, studying my face. "When's the last time you slept?" "Thursday." I pushed my phone across the table. "I need you to listen to something." Mara's expression darkened as Trevor and Lexi's voices filled the space between us. By the time the recording ended, her jaw was clenched tight. "Elena, please tell me you're finally done playing doormat." "I'm done," I confirmed. "But I need to do this right, legally bulletproof." A smile spread across her face, the kind that made opposing counsel nervous. "Now you're talking. First things first, documentation. How long have they been there?" 7 weeks. "Any written agreement?" "Text messages saying a few weeks, nothing formal." "Perfect. In New York, without a lease. They're considered month-to-month tenants at best. But given the evidence of theft and property damage," she pulled out her legal pad, "we can build a strong case for immediate eviction based on criminal activity." "What else do I need?" "Everything. Camera footage, credit card statements, photos of damage, bank records showing any unauthorized transfers, social media posts where they claim ownership." She paused. "Do you have security cameras?" "Just the doorbell cam." "Not enough. Here's what you're going to do." Mara shifted into full lawyer mode. "Install cameras in common areas, living room, kitchen, hallways. New York is a one-party consent state for video recording in your own home. Get everything, the parties, the damage, the theft in action. Won't they notice?" "Not if you're smart about it. Nanny cams are incredibly discreet these days. I have a client who installs them. I'll send you his info." I nodded, taking notes. "What about the credit card fraud?" "Document every unauthorized charge. Screenshot everything. File a police report. You'll need it for the eviction proceedings and to protect yourself from liability." She leaned forward. "Elena, this isn't just about getting them out anymore. They've committed actual crimes." "I know." I thought about my missing clothes, the thousands in fraudulent charges. I can't believe Trevor would— "Stop." Mara held up her hand. "This isn't your brother anymore. This is a con artist who happens to share your DNA. The Trevor you're protecting doesn't exist, maybe never did." The truth of it hit like cold water. "You're right. Now let's talk strategy. You mentioned they're planning another party." "This Saturday. I'll be at work." "Perfect. Let them dig their own grave. In the meantime, I'll draft a formal notice to quit. Given the criminal activity, we can demand they leave within 3 days instead of the usual 30. 3 days. Hope flickered in my chest. "If they refuse, we file for eviction immediately. With the evidence you're gathering, any judge will fast-track it." She paused. "But Elena, you need to be prepared. They're going to escalate when cornered." "What do you mean?" "Right now, they think they've won. When you shatter that illusion, they'll get desperate. Desperate people do stupid things." Mara pulled out her phone. "I'm sending you contact info for a locksmith who does emergency calls. The second we serve papers, you change every lock. Even the smart locks. Especially those And you'll want to freeze your credit, change all your passwords, secure any valuable documents. She made another note. Do you have a safe? No. Get one. Today. Move all important papers, deed, insurance documents, bank statements, passport. These people have been in your house for 7 weeks with unlimited access. Assume they know everything about your finances. The magnitude of my vulnerability hit me. Jesus, Mara, how did I let it get this bad? Because you're human. Because family is supposed to mean something. Her voice softened. But now you know better. The best revenge isn't getting angry, it's getting strategic. I straightened in my chair. Tell me what else I need to do. Create backups of everything. Upload recordings to the cloud. Email copies to me. Print hard copies for court. She slid a business card across the table. This is a forensic accountant. Have him analyze your accounts. Trace every penny they've stolen. Judges love precise numbers. This is going to cost a fortune. How much have they already cost you? I did quick mental math. Between utilities, stolen items, and credit card fraud. At least 15,000. Then consider this an investment in getting your life back. Plus, we'll sue for damages. Trevor and Lexi might be judgment-proof now, but wage garnishment is forever. For the first time in weeks, I felt something other than helpless rage. When do we start? You've already started. The recording was brilliant. Keep playing the weak. Push over sister while you build your case. Let them get comfortable. Overconfident. Mara smiled again. Sharp as a blade. They called you a loser. Show them what losing really looks like. I left the coffee shop with a list of tasks and something I'd lost control. Trevor thought I was too practical to fight back. He was half right. I was practical enough to know that revenge is a dish best served with proper documentation and legal representation. That afternoon, I made my rounds. Security cameras ordered with rush delivery. Locksmith scheduled for next week. Safe purchased and installed in my home office, the one room I'd kept locked. Forensic accountant appointment booked. As I watched Trevor and Lexi through my new doorbell cam, lounging by my pool with my champagne, I smiled. They looked so comfortable, so certain of their cleverness. Enjoy it while it lasts, I whispered to the screen. This loser's about to teach you both a very expensive lesson. Saturday morning, I sat at my kitchen table, laptop open, pretending to work while Trevor and Lexi bustled around preparing for their party. The new cameras I'd installed captured everything in crystal clarity. Lena, you're seriously working on a weekend again. Trevor shook his head in mock disappointment. This is why you're single. I forced a laugh. Big presentation Monday. You know how it is. No, I really don't, he smirked. Life's too short to waste on PowerPoints. Behind him, Lexi was arranging bottles on my bar cart top shelf liquor I'd been saving for special occasions. At least $500 worth that would be gone by tonight. Actually, I said, keeping my voice casual, I've been thinking about selling the house. The room went still. Trevor's head snapped up from his phone. What? Why would you do that? I shrugged, eyes on my screen. It's too big for just me. Plus the market's hot right now. Could probably get 700, maybe 750. That's... Trevor exchanged a look with Lexi. That's crazy. You just bought it. The realtor thinks I could clear at least $100K profit. Enough for a nice condo downtown. Closer to work, I typed randomly, fighting to keep my expression neutral. She's coming by next week to do a valuation. Lexi moved closer, her voice honey-sweet. Elena, that seems really impulsive. Not like you at all. Maybe I'm tired of being predictable. I glanced up briefly. You guys would need to find a place by the end of the month, obviously. End of the month, Trevor's voice pitched higher. Lena, come on, we're family. Which is why I'm giving you 3 weeks' notice instead of 2. I returned to my fake work. The realtor said vacant houses show better anyway. I could practically hear the gears turning in their heads. Through my peripheral vision, I watched them retreat to the living room, whispering furiously. My phone, strategically placed to look forgotten, recorded every word. She can't be serious, Lexi hissed. We just got everything perfect here. She's bluffing, Trevor insisted, trying to scare us into leaving. Elena doesn't have the balls to actually kick us out. But what if she's not, babe? We need this place. My sponsorships are all based on this lifestyle. Then we make sure she changes her mind. Trevor's voice turned dark. She wants to play games fine. We'll make living here so miserable she'll beg us to stay just to avoid dealing with us. Or, Lexi said slowly, we could make sure she can't sell. What do you mean? Houses need to pass inspection, right? Things could break, accidentally, nothing major. Just enough to fail inspection. Buy us time to figure out plan B. You're fucking brilliant, Trevor said. And if we're really smart about it, we document everything wrong with the house. Make her look like a slumlord if she tries to evict us. Exactly. Plus, I have 12,000 followers now. One viral TikTok about a heartless landlord throwing out family. She laughed. Public pressure is powerful. I kept typing, my blood boiling but my face calm. They were planning to destroy my house and reputation to maintain their con, but every word was being recorded, uploaded to the cloud, and automatically forwarded to Mara. Party starts at 8, Trevor announced louder, clearly wanting me to hear. Try not to call the cops on your own brother, yeah. Have fun, I called back. I'll be at the office late anyway. I wasn't going to the office. I was going to Mara's, where we'd watch the party unfold through my security cameras and document every violation, every theft, every moment of destruction. By 6 p.m., I was settled in Mara's home office with Chinese takeout and multiple screens showing different angles of my house. The forensic accountant had sent his preliminary report, $23,000. In theft and unauthorized charges. Over 7 weeks, the locksmith was on standby for Monday. The eviction papers were printed and ready. They're early, Mara noted as the first guests arrived at 7. By 8, my house was packed. By 9, someone was doing lines of coke off my granite countertops. By 10, Lexi was giving a house tour to her followers, claiming she'd designed everything herself. That's your grandmother's china cabinet she's leaning on, Mara observed as Lexi posed for selfies. Was, I corrected, watching someone spill red wine across my Persian rug. Pretty sure that's not coming out. Add it to the damages list. That rug's worth what? $4,000. 6. I screenshotted Lexi's live stream where she called it just some old carpet, while her friends used it as a dance floor. The party raged until 3 a.m. We documented everything: the drug use, the property damage, the underage drinkers Trevor was serving, Lexi charging people entry fees to her house party. By the time the last guest stumbled out, we had enough evidence to bury them in both criminal and civil court. Monday morning, Mara said, organizing our files. We serve papers, you change locks, and their free ride ends. I looked at my house through the cameras, trash everywhere, bottles covering every surface, things broken I couldn't even identify yet, but for the first time in weeks, I smiled genuinely. They wanted to make me miserable enough to beg them to stay. Instead, they gave us enough evidence to ensure they never come back. Mara finished. I almost feel sorry for them. Almost. I watched Trevor and Lexi on the couch, surrounded by the destruction they'd caused, counting the cash from their cover charges. They called me too practical to fight back, I said quietly. Turns out, being practical means knowing exactly how to win. Monday morning arrived like Christmas. While Trevor and Lexi slept off their hangovers, I sat in my car outside my own house at 7 a.m., waiting for the locksmith. Mara was on her way with the eviction papers and a process server. The plan was surgical serve papers, change locks, secure the property. But first, I had preparations to make. I slipped inside quietly, heading straight for my home office, working quickly. I packed essential documents into a briefcase: insurance papers, bank statements, anything they could use for further fraud. My laptop, jewelry, and the few designer pieces they hadn't stolen went into bags I loaded into my car. Early morning. Trevor's voice made me jump. He stood in the doorway, shirtless and squinting. Let me guess, another thrilling day at the office. Actually, no, I smiled sweetly. Took a personal day. Lots to handle with the house sale. His jaw tightened. About that. My phone buzzed. Mara, 5 minutes out. Sorry, Trevor, I need to grab something from the garage. I brushed past him, heart hammering, just a little longer. In the garage, I did one final task, disconnecting the Wi-Fi router and taking it with me. Petty maybe. But Lexi's influencer career was about to hit a serious snag. "What the hell?" I heard her screech from inside. "The internet's down." I walked back through the house as she frantically tried to reconnect. "Oh, I'm switching providers," I said casually. "The new service starts." "Never." "What?" She looked up from her phone, confused. The doorbell rang. Perfect timing. Trevor answered it, and I watched his face change as the process server handed him the papers. "Trevor Walsh, you're being served with a notice to quit the premises within 3 days due to criminal activity and lease violations." "What the fuck is this?" He spun toward me, papers crumpling in his fist. "It's called consequences," I said, stepping aside as the locksmith entered with his equipment. "You have 72 hours to vacate my property." "Your property?" Lexi laughed shrilly. "We live here." "No," Mara said, entering with her briefcase. "You squat here. Big difference." She handed them another document. "This is a restraining order preventing you from damaging any property during your move-out. Violation will result in immediate arrest." Trevor's face went from red to purple. "You fucking bitch! After everything I've done for you." "Everything you've done." I pulled out my phone, showing him his credit card charges. $23,000 in fraud. That's a felony. "Trevor." Lexi grabbed his arm. "She's bluffing. She won't call the cops on family." "I already did," I said calmly. "They'll be here soon to take your statements about the drugs at Saturday's party. Amazing what security cameras catch these days." "You recorded us." Lexi's influencer persona cracked completely. "In our own home." "My home," I corrected. "Which you've been illegally monetizing on social media while committing identity theft." I turned to the locksmith. "Start with the smart locks, please." As the locksmith worked, I pulled out my laptop, connected to my phone's hotspot, and logged into the credit card accounts. One by one, I reported every fraudulent charge, uploaded the video evidence, and locked the cards. "Those charges were authorized," Trevor protested. "You gave us permission." "Really? I authorized you to buy cryptocurrency mining equipment, designer clothes bottles at clubs. I showed him screenshots of his own texts bragging about using my cards. Your own messages say otherwise." Lexi was frantically trying to salvage her live stream with cellular data. "Guys, you won't believe what's happening. My boyfriend's sister is literally making us homeless because she's jealous of our success." "Defamation," Mara said mildly. "Please continue. My paralegal loves documenting these things." I walked to the circuit breaker and flipped off power to the guest wing. "Oops, electrical problems. Happens in old houses." "You can't do this." Trevor advanced on me, but the locksmith, a large man who'd clearly dealt with evictions before, stepped between us. "Sir, I'd step back if I were you." "This is a legal eviction," Lexi shrieked. "We have rights." "You have 3 days," Mara corrected. "Use them wisely. Maybe start looking for jobs. I hear McDonald's is hiring." I gathered my bags, pausing at the door. "Oh, Trevor Mom called last night. I told her everything. She's disappointed. Said something about you being dead to her until you pay me back every penny." The lie was worth it for his expression. "You turned Mom against me." "No, you did that yourself. I just provided evidence." I pulled out copies of every receipt, every screenshot, every police report. "Copies for you to review while packing." "Where are we supposed to go?" Lexi wailed. "That's the beautiful thing about being smart.